Hey everyone, it's Justin here, coming out with another video. This video is going to be about need-to-know information for MS1s or freshmen in ROTC. My inspiration for writing this video, once again, is that a lot of people don't know what they should be learning or what they need to be studying in between their actual classes and lab for ROTC. And also, this gives an immediate introduction to people that are interested in ROTC to figure out what they're going to be learning about when they actually do come to college and enroll in the program. I want to start out with uniform wear and appearance. So one of the first things you're going to start learning about in ROTC is how to wear the uniform and what goes with wearing a uniform, like how you should always be shaven, how you should have your hair, basically how you should present yourself whenever you're wearing an official uniform of the U.S. Army. That being said, I think that it's not only important to take this into account for your Army life, but also for your professional life. So whenever you're going to a formal event of some kind, you have to take into account what you should be wearing, because your outward appearance is the first thing that a lot of people are going to notice about you, and it's the first thing that people are going to use to judge you and your competency. So that being said, you want to make sure that you appear to be professional, you appear to be clean cut, and basically that you know what you're doing. Next, we'll talk about personal accountability. So in a lot of different ways, Army leadership is about being accountable for other people. Your freshman year in the program is one of the only times when you won't be accountable for other people, so this time is when you should master personal accountability and learn how to be responsible for yourself. So as a freshman, you're going to be acting as a private would be in the regular Army, and basically you're going to get information that comes down the chain of command telling you where you need to be, when you need to be, and what you need to be wearing when you're there at the event. So being able to take in the information and being at the right place at the right time in the right uniform is all that personal accountability comes down to as a freshman. So being at PT in the right uniform and making sure that you're shaven and presented well means that you are now responsible for yourself and you're presenting yourself in a positive manner. So your ability to do that will change throughout the course of the year, hopefully progressing into a more developed state. Next thing, these are some of the skills that you're going to learn as a freshman in the ROTC program. So IMTs, which stand for Individual Movement Techniques, Personal Fitness, and the PRTs, or the Physical Readiness Training Program. So the IMTs, or Individual Movement Techniques, are going to be how you're going to move in combat situations. So no, you will not be in any combat situations as a freshman or anything remotely like that, but you're going to learn how to move under fire in a tactical scenario. So one example of an individual movement technique is going to be your low crawls and high crawls. So you're going to learn how to do an army crawl, you're going to learn how to do the buddy rush technique, which is basically when you partner up with someone and one person is firing their weapon while you're running, and then you take turns and alternate to make sure that you can advance towards an objective without being, while still maintaining fire superiority as much as possible. So those are something that you need to self-study upon your freshman year. So it should be taught at a lab, and it should be taught by your mentor, your superiors in the program. However, it is something that you can learn on your own and something that you can start practicing now, because you're going to have to use them in more tactical situations as you go through the ranks and as you go through into higher levels of the program. Next, personal fitness. So this one's really big for me. I can't stress personal fitness enough because it is probably the most important thing in ROTC as a whole, besides your GPA or your academics. So personal fitness will relate back to everything you do, and it starts from the very first time you put on the uniform to whenever you get out of your Army career. You're always going to have to be physically fit. So the Army Physical Fitness Test, or the APFT, consists of 3 events: the 2-mile run, 2 minutes of push-ups, and 2 minutes of sit-ups. So it actually goes in the order of push-ups, sit-ups, run. In order to pass for guy standards, you need to do 42 push-ups, 53 sit-ups, and run a 15:54. For girl standards, you need to do 19 push-ups, 53 sit-ups, and then run an 18:54. And for maxing standards for men, it is 71 push-ups, 78 sit-ups, and then run a 13-minute flat 2-mile. For female standards maxing, it will be 42 push-ups, 78 sit-ups, and run a 15:36 or better. So there's a lot of numbers that I just threw at you, and it might not mean that much if you haven't tried it out yourself. So really what I recommend doing is in your first year, if you haven't taken a PT test yet, or if you're looking to join ROTC, make sure you find someone to help grade you or help review your exercises, and focus on making sure you have as good form as possible. So at the beginning of each PT test, they're going to read off the instructions, and a couple key pointers for push-ups and sit-ups, for example, are going to be push-ups. You have to extend your arms all the way out. I know a lot of people coming into the program don't realize that. A lot of guys especially will try to bang out really quick close grip push-ups, but they won't be extending their arms fully. So make sure you're extending your arms fully, make sure you're going down to at least a 90-degree angle, and that you maintain a straight plank with your body. For sit-ups, you just have to have your hands interlocked behind your head. So your hands have to be interlocked like this, your fingers, and they have to be behind your head, and the base of your neck has to extend beyond the base of your spine, and each repetition counts when you hit the ground. So a lot of people don't realize how much harder putting your hands behind your head makes it. It's very easy to do sit-ups like this, but once you put your hands behind your head, your numbers are going to go down drastically. So make sure you practice like you would be doing an actual sit-up on the test, and put your hands behind your head. And then finally, the 2-mile run. There's no real tricks or caveats to this exercise, but just know that it is what most cadets struggle with, is the run. It's the hardest part to get good at, especially if you're struggling with it. For those that do track or run and play sports, it probably won't be that difficult, but if you've never run before, definitely start. And if you're interested, I can make a separate video about possibly adding on some workouts for you so that you can develop yourself. So after personal fitness, there's the PRTs, which is like the physical readiness training program. It's how the Army does warm-ups. It's how they do all of their exercises in a particular manner. So these are important to know because every single PT session you do, you're going to be starting out by doing 10 basic exercises that start with the bend and reach, finishing with the push-up. And so these exercises are going to be just practicing. It's going to help the leader develop themselves, because that's the first time they're going to be up in front of a formation and be giving commands and directing a group of people on how to do physical fitness stuff. So make sure that you start learning those as a freshman, because as early as your sophomore year, you're going to have to be in charge of leading a PT session for your company or battalion, respectively. So you want to make sure that you start practicing them and learn how to do them as early as possible. And then the last thing I would say that you have to learn as an MS1 is drill and ceremony. And actually, I forgot one thing. I'm gonna go back to drill and ceremony. So sorry, basic understanding of Army leadership competencies and attributes. In my other videos, I explained the different Army leadership attributes, and I think that everyone in the entire ROTC program needs to start learning them from as early as possible, because they are extremely important when it comes to understanding how you're going to be evaluated and what senior leadership is looking for when it comes to leadership development. So make sure you take a look at these and really hone in on learning about what some of them mean. I know that our program does a board for determining who gets contracts and scholarships, and one of the questions on the board this past year was, can you name some Army leadership attributes and competencies, and please define leadership in your own words. So this was asked down to even the freshman level. The freshmen were asked, do they know any of this? Because no, it's not taught in any of your classes, but it's important to start self-studying as soon as you join the program. Alright, getting back to drill and ceremony now. D&C is something that oftentimes officers get a bad rap on, and that's because it's not well taught in ROTC. And myself included, I think that everyone needs to work on it a little bit more. It's not necessarily the most fun thing in the world, but knowing how to do facing maneuvers, march a unit, and basically do any sort of professional Army drill, I guess would be the word for it. Any type of drill in total is very important, because not only does it demonstrate to your subordinates and non-commissioned officers that you understand what you're doing and you understand regulations, but it also shows that you care about what they care about. So you need to understand from the very beginning that one of the first things you're going to be learning in ROTC is how to do the facing maneuvers, how to stand in formation properly, how to stand at the position of attention, parade rest, at ease, what the difference between parade rest and at ease is, and also when you should salute, who you should salute, who you should stand at the position of attention for, and who you should stand at parade rest for. I'm not going to go into detail about any of that because this isn't a video on D&C, it's just a video on what you need to know as a freshman. So, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment or message me directly, and I'll try to get to you as soon as possible. And if you want to see me make a video about any one of these topics that I covered, just let me know, and I will try to go into further depth in a later video or make a special video just for that topic. Alright, thanks guys. See ya.